Hello Internet, I am Turtle, and this will be my first real video. Here I'm going to talk a little about learning the guitar. Me myself, I still consider myself a beginner. I've been playing almost all my life. I'm 18 now, I've had a guitar in my hand since I was 4. So yeah, I'm not as good as I should be. So that's why you should practice, kids. Biggest thing I gotta say is parents. If you're a parent or about to be a parent and you think music is a good option for your child, make it fun. Regimental practice is good, as in sitting here twice a day going over my scales like that's great, but that's something better for when they're a bit older. If they're younger, under the age of 10, I would make it a lot more fun. Maybe if you don't play an instrument, find an instrument, maybe not the same instrument your child wants to learn to play or you want your child to learn to play, but something so you can make it fun. Even if you sit there and the entire time you're playing, you're sitting here going singing random words over it, as long as you make it fun, it'll keep the child interested. For a while, I had quit the guitar when I was younger. It was when I was about 7. My father was a musician, still is, and so I kind of clung to music as well. And at one point, he was just too strict, and it became to where it was regimental, and when I wasn't practicing or I didn't do something right, I didn't put up a chord, he would scold me. And quite frankly, it ruined the guitar at that point for me. So at one point I ended up picking up drums. And with drums, he was a lot more easygoing. But then again, I wasn't supposed to be a drummer either. I was supposed to be a guitarist. The drums were bought for my brother, but my brother never did anything. And I started playing them one day. And my father says he remembers me copying his exact beat he was doing. I don't quite remember doing it like that. I just remember getting behind the drum set and playing. It came very natural to me. I felt the rhythm to where I could play something like this. Now obviously that's not me actually playing drums, that's me tapping on the strings of the guitar, but it gives you an idea. Then when I got back into high school, when I went to high school, there I reconciled with a lot of music friends. And a lot of them were playing guitar, and they're like, they'd ask me what I play. I'm like, well, I play drums. I'm like, I can also strum the guitar and play a little bit. Like, well, do you have one? Yeah, I had my old guitar, which is right, hold on, here. This was my second guitar ever. It's a cheap Jackson Dinky. Cost my pops about $300, but now it's a little project. Throwing a little Seymour Dimebucker in there. Gonna need to upgrade a new tremolo system. Got the Love It or Leave It Eagle sticker, Merca. But anyways, I had that, so I started taking that to school and I would jam. The other guitar I had, which is my third real guitar, is this Strat type. Originally it said Starcaster on it, but I scratched that off and I threw a new 69 style, or no, not 69, the older tremolo system from Fender that they throw on the Made in Mexico ones. I mean, this was great. I got this, well, my parents got this for me at Hastings. Came with a little amp cord, a tuner, a little DVD for $200. And I look at this guitar, it's nice, it's fat, it's thick. At one point I ended up cracking, hold on. ended up cracking the finish here because one day I got mad because I was changing strings and I was tuning one. I had the guitar like this and it popped and whiplashed me right here. So I threw it very hard and chipped some of the paint off here. And it's very thick considering it was made in China. Thick. It's obviously multiple pieces, but the grains are fairly well matched. And I mean, this thing's heavy and as thick as a real Fender. In the back, we got a Squier, and that thing's just like thinner. It pales in comparison to this. And sound-wise, it's just fine. Let me unplug real quick. See if she's in tune. This thing's just beautiful. If I want to get a bit more Hendrix with it, I can, like so. That, kids, is why we practice. This thing also sustains very nicely, just yeah, that's this. This was my second real guitar. No, this was my third. This was my second. My very first guitar was an old Silvertone that my father had purchased. This is the first real guitar that I purchased with my own money, along with that 5150 Mark II in the back that I'm coming out of. Bought that half stack for $600, and this I bought for $350. It's the Jackson Professional, made in Japan. Floyd Rose, humbucker single coil, volume tone selector, which also plays nice. This one I believe is in That is why I practice once again. Turn that down. Rather annoying, but yeah, this is my first guitar I bought with my real money. The only thing I didn't really like about it is its neck profile. A little too flat for me. Too much of a D shape. I like the C shape of this one a little bit better. So real quick, I'm going to go back to that one. It's my main guitar. I like using. But I need that Floyd Rose in my band for that more 80s-esque sound. Especially when I'm playing on my Van Halen and type stuff. Another misconception, well, didn't start talking misconceptions yet, but I'm going to. Misconception for all you youngsters or beginners who want to get that metal sound. This guitar is in 440, not detuned. It's all on how you have your amp, and I can get the screeching metal tones. Hold on. Black caffeinated beverage. It's for you, Rob. Anyways, detuning's nice. It gives you a more bassier, kind of grungy-esque sound. I shall demonstrate. Now I'm in drop D per se. A lot of bands like to use this, but with drop D you can do a lot more. Well, it's a little bit easier to play in for me. Honestly, for you it may be different, but you don't need to detune. One thing I will tell you, if you detune, you want to go for heavier gauge strings. Gauge is how thick the strings are. Most guitars come standard with 9s or 10s. If you see strings on the market, quite frankly, like Ernie Ball, Super Slinky, it'll be in the pink package. Those will be 9s. And I forgot what the Slinkies come in because I quit using Ernie Ball. But yeah, if you detune, you want to go higher gauge in strings. The lower you tune, the higher gauge you want, so that it can handle. Because if you do tuning, like if I were to take this, which is already at a D, and the string's pretty wobbly, pretty loose, there's not a lot of tension to it. If I were to go any lower, it would just be too loose. One, I know a newer band that uses drop D tuning is Disturbed. No, it's not Disturbed. Well, yeah, I know they use it, but I'm trying to think of the song. If you know it, yeah, you'll know it. I just can't think of the name. Yeah, it just gives you a fuller tone. But in the words of B.B. King, why are you working so hard? You have to get all these nice heavy gauge strings, and your bends won't be as easy to bend like. It would just take way too much work with heavier gauge strings. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, I re-picked up the guitar back in high school, and from there is where I really started taking it serious, and that's where I am now. I'm currently in 1, 2, 3, 4, technically 4 different bands, and I'm working on my own solo stuff on the side. I also play bass as well as drums, as you already know from watching this video. Crap. This feels so odd. I'm not used to pretty much talking to a camera. But hopefully I'll edit that part out. We'll see. I also play percussion, so I have a lot of diverse different writing styles to where I can play jazzier type stuff or more dancier pop stuff, like Long Train by the Doobie Brothers. Or I can do something like Play That Funky Music by Wild Cherry. Helps when you're in 440 tuning. I can also play more country-esque type stuff, like a little bit of chicken picking. I lean more towards rockabilly. I'm not necessarily a country player. It's about as country as I get is like Tex-Mex. So stuff like Texas Tornadoes, Little Joe and La Familia, stuff like that. The only real per se country song I actually like would be In the Streets of Bakersfield. But per se, that's not really my style. I listen to it, and that's how I roll. I really like Brian Setzer's type stuff, rockabilly. like some reggae types. Like here's a original piece I've been working on. Help when I put the cape on the right spot. Yeah, another reggae-ish type song that's not really reggae-ish. It's considered Tex-Mex, but it's more on the side of a cumbia. Pinche Bidi Bidi Bamba by Selena. Yeah, some of you were like, yeah, some of you were like, who? If you don't know her, look her up. Selena Quintanilla. It's called Bidi Bidi Bamba, even though you would spell it Bidi by Bom Bom is how you would spell it. But it's yeah, I get into my Latino music real nice. I'm very open-minded, music genre-wise. I tend to listen to metal more, but depending on my mood, I ultra love classical. I can't really play classical.